3.
Hello, my name is Aldana. I'm with my friends John Souza and Mark Steensland on ESPN, sponsored by Bud Light.
First topic, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
This year it's going to be a tie race, but I believe that the Seahawks have a really strong defense, and Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch will lead the pack, and I think the Seahawks will take it home.
I think the Denver Broncos will win the Super Bowl because they just got a new trade for Wes Welker, but they have a really good quarterback, Peyton Manning's addition to them.
I would agree with Mark on the Seahawks, but I think that it's going to be special teams in the Super Bowl, and I think they got some pretty decent special teams because they have some good returners.
All right, next topic. Did the Patriots do right or wrong by letting Welker go?
I think that I would have liked Welker to stay, but if that's what's best for the team, then they had the right decision by letting him go. I think when Tom Brady's gone, then they're going to have to go in a rebuild mode.
I think it was a wrong decision to let Welker go because they lost already Aaron Hernandez.
I think it was a good decision for the team because it's free agency. You don't know what's going to happen. And I think that losing him, and depending on what happens now, they might not have good wide receivers, but it would have been nice if they kept him. But it's free agency.
Next topic, Smith or Sanchez with the Jets?
I'm going to have to go with Geno Smith. I think that Mark Sanchez just doesn't have what it takes to be in the NFL. And Geno Smith is a fresher start and bring more hopes to the Jets.
Geno Smith, he's way better than Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez is too old now, getting some cramps.
Even though I'm the Trojan here, but I'm going to go with Mark Sanchez. I think that he didn't really have a supporting cast the past 2 years. He didn't have a good running game to really work in with his passing game, and he just doesn't have a good coach. I mean, you come and he hasn't developed at all since he came out of college.
Next topic, college pigskin. Who's going to win more games, SC or UCLA?
Football? I believe that UCLA is a stronger team. They got some nice recruits, and I'm really looking forward to the 2014 season.
SC are known for football. They're not known for basketball, but I think SC will win with their strong offense.
I think they could win SC could win 10 to 11 games this year, and I think UCLA would get about 9 or 10. But I think they'd be around the same. But I think USC not having to play Oregon is a big factor, and then UCLA having to play Oregon is a big factor.
Baseball. Who's going to win the World Series?
Baseball. I think St. Louis Cardinals will come out on top again.
In my opinion, I think the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're doing great this year. Not the best in the NL, but they're still good.
I think it's going to be the Dodgers because they have one of the best pitching staffs in baseball, and pitching is what gets you far in the postseason.
All right, still on baseball. Who's going to win the NL Cy Young? Harvey or Kershaw?
It's going to be Kershaw. Kershaw has the ERA and the stats, and Harvey, he still has time to develop.
Kershaw, of course. Kershaw is really good. Not rookie anymore, but he is still a great pitcher.
I would go with Matt Harvey, but there's somebody else that's not in the question that's pretty good, and that's Patrick Corbin. This guy's 12-1, and he won 9 games in a row without getting a loss. And then he lost, and he's been great this year.
Next question, will the Heat repeat? Will the Heat three-peat?
No way. I think that their bubble is popped. They will not win it again. Now teams will come back and be more determined, such as the Warriors are going to go far, such as the Pacers are going to bring the Heat this season.
The Heat will not three-peat because last World Championship against the Spurs just let it go. They had 2 chances. They just choked. It was the Spurs' fault of the Heat winning. The Heat didn't have the talent to because the Spurs were up there, but then they choked.
I don't think Miami can go three-peat. I think it's going to be a new team like the Pacers who almost beat Miami, but they just didn't have as much talent as Miami did. But I think it's going to be the Pacers.
Still on basketball, who's going to win more games, the Lakers or the Clippers?
Clippers by far. I mean, they have Doc now, they have CP3, they have Blake Griffin, and they have JJ Redick and all these other great players. Their bench is good, and they're just going to be way better than the Lakers.
As Mark said, Clippers, of course, they have Doc Rivers, the new coach from the Celtics. They also Lakers lost Metta World Peace, so that's a big factor in a Lakers game.
I think it's going to be the Clippers, even though I'm a Laker fan. But the Lakers brought in some good people, and so did the Clippers. And I think the Clippers are going to probably win about 55 games this year, and I think the Lakers can only win about 40.
And that was all day. Sorry. My name's All Day with John and Mark, and sponsored by Bud Light, ESPN. Please tune in.
All right, 3.
This is Mark Stevens along with my co-host Antonio Davila and Nate Morales on In Your Face.
First topic, who's going to win the World Series?
I personally think that the Dodgers will take it home and they will be the 2013 World Series champion.
I'm going to have to disagree. I think that the St. Louis Cardinals, they are really good, and I think that they will come on top.
Well, this is a difficult one. I think the Dodgers are on a hot streak right now, but I'm not sure if they're going to cool down. Well, they're definitely going to cool down. You can't say that, but I'm not sure how much. But I'm going to have to say the Detroit Tigers because they have just the most powerful lineup, and they have great starting pitching.
Next topic, football. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
In my own opinion, I think the Super Bowl winner will be the Seahawks because of Russell Wilson running and Marshawn Lynch. The defense presence is amazing. I think they will take it home.
I'm going to have to agree on everything he said. Russell Wilson, a great quarterback. You got Marshawn Lynch for beast mode, and their defense has really excelled through the past years, and I think the Seahawks will come.
I'm going to have to say the 49ers. Like, the Seahawks, they stayed the same. They added a bunch of pieces on their defensive line, that's for sure. They got Cliff Averill and Bennett from the Buccaneers. But the 49ers, they had a great draft. They got a nice young player on the defensive line, Tank Carradine. Then they also got replacement for Deshaun Goldson, Eric Reed from LSU. I think they'll be good.
All right.
Plus the development of Colin Kaepernick.
Staying on football, Jets drama, Smith or Sanchez?
I personally think I'm a great USC fan, and I really like Mark Sanchez, but I had to choose Smith because I think Smith is I think he has more IQ points in the game, and he's been playing smarter, and I think he just can play a better quarterback, and I think he can lead the Jets to many victories.
Geno Smith has what it takes. He has speed, he has agility, he can throw the ball downfield, and he's just better than Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez just isn't QB type in the NFL.
Well, Mark Sanchez did lead the Jets to 2 straight NFC championships, but since then he's done nothing for them. The Jets need a new quarterback. They just need a change at that position. They just need something to help them get going. So I'm going to say Geno Smith.
Basketball, will the Heat three-peat?
This is a really hard topic, but I think not. Because of the Warriors, they brought in Andre Iguodala, and Andre Iguodala is an amazing defensive presence, a dunking presence, and a three-point presence. And when LeBron James goes to guard him, you can pass the ball to Ty Lawson for an easy drive. So I personally think the Warriors will take it home.
I have to agree that I don't think the Heat will have a three-peat. The Pacers will come on top because they were fiery from last season, and they were going to really want to beat the Heat. And I think another team from the West might be there, meet them up too.
The Heat will not three-peat. They didn't get anyone except they lost Mike Miller and got Greg Oden. But everyone around them got much better. The Rockets went out and got Dwight Howard. The Warriors went out and got Andre Iguodala. The Pacers, although they stayed the same, they're still really good. Memphis Grizzlies, though, I think they might fall off the map a little bit. But then the Clippers also, they went out and got Doc Rivers and J.J. Redick and Jared Dudley. I don't think they have a chance to three-peat.
All right, staying on the NBA, who will have the better season, the Lakers or the Clippers?
Oh God, I loved the Lakers when I was little for my family, and now I'm starting to like the Clippers. But I personally think the Lakers, they lost one of the best players, Dwight Howard, and I think that he actually helped the team. And the Clippers have brought in many young talents. So the Clippers, because of Doc Rivers, he can coach the team better, and I think that they can maybe bring it home.
Yes, the Clippers, they just brought in so many new weapons to their team. They have so many great things. They got Doc, they have Jared Dudley, J.J. Redick, Chris Paul signed with a deal, and Blake Griffin's there, and they're going to be a really strong team next year, better than the Lakers.
Obviously, the Clippers are going to be much better than the Lakers, but I think that in terms of what you're supposed to do, I think the Lakers will have a better season in terms of living up to expectations. I think the Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs, in my opinion, but they're going to surprise people of how good they are, but still not going to make the playoffs.
This is Mark Steenson along with Antonio Davila and Nathan Morales and In Your Face. Thank you for watching.
3.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Aaron Goldstein along with Charlie Hobart and Patrick DeMarco.
First topic, who's going to win the World Series?
The World Series right now is going to be close between the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Right now, if the Dodgers keep playing the way they're playing, they're going to take it all.
I say the Cardinals. I mean, their offense is amazing. They have a bunch of all-stars, a bunch of candidates for the MVP, and their pitching staff is good enough to win, and their bullpen is the same.
I think the pitcher Pirates, they have 3 solid pitchers. They have A.J. Burnett, Garrett Cole, and Jeff Locke, and they have Andrew McCutcheon, who's having one of his breakout season. He had 23 home runs last year, and he's already hit 24, 25. So I think he could be a big factor for them in the playoffs if they make it.
National League Cy Young.
National League Cy Young, the biggest duel in the MLB right now is going to be the Kershaw-Harvey. I'm going with Matt Harvey this year. Clayton Kershaw is 11-9, but Matt Harvey's 9-3, so he's 6 games over 500, and he's got a great ERA. He's got plenty of innings pitched, and he's just overall the better pitcher.
I totally disagree. I totally choose Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw, even though he's 10-7, the Dodgers just don't score any runs for him. He's a 1.91 ERA, which is leading, and he's also a .86 WHIP, which is leading. I just think he's a great pitcher, no doubt.
I think Kershaw's going to win it, but what about Patrick Corbin? He's been 12-1, and he's pretty much a rookie. He's really young, and he's pitching really good. So I think Kershaw's going to win, but I think Patrick Corbin's up there too.
Since we're on the topic, AL Cy Young.
AL Cy Young, I think for me, no doubt about it, Max Scherzer. This guy is 8-1. His ERA is phenomenal. His WHIP is phenomenal. He's just incredible this season. A Cy Young, no doubt.
I totally agree. 16-1, great stats. I mean, he's winning all the games. I think he should win, no doubt. There's nobody even close to his amount of wins.
I actually think Yu Darvish. I mean, Max Scherzer's 16-1, but what was he last year? Like 12-6, 12-7. Yu Darvish had a great year. He's having a great year had a great year this last year. He's having a great year this year. So, and he comes from Japan. I think, and he adjusted from the crowds. I think I think he'll win it.
New topic, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl right now, I'm going with the Broncos. They just picked up Wes Welker from the Patriots. They got an awesome quarterback. They got a good running back. They're going to be looking good in the season.
Well, the Broncos are good, but not as good as the San Francisco 49ers. Colin Kaepernick, young star, he's great. He'll last a while. The defense, always phenomenal. And the running back and Frank Gore, always great. I think that they could win. There's not one position on the field where they are not positive that they have a good player.
I think the Atlanta Falcons, they picked up Justin Tuck in the offseason from the Giants, and they needed that defensive end position, so I think the Falcons could win it.
All right, staying on football, Jets drama, Sanchez or Smith?
I'm going to go Smith here. Sanchez, earlier in his career, he did lead his team to two straight NFC championships, but since then, they can't win. I think Smith is just the better quarterback.
Well, both of them, Smith hasn't really proven anything in the NFL. This will be his first year, and Sanchez, he was good a few years ago, but he hasn't done anything since, so I'm just going to go with Geno Smith.
I'm actually going to go with Mark Sanchez. He led his team to 2 NFC conference titles. I mean, he's been solid those 2 years, and even though he had a bad year last year, that's 1 year. Everyone has a bad year.
I'm Aaron Goldstein. This is Patrick DeMarco. That's Charlie Hobart. We'll wrap it up here on In Your Face.
Hi, I'm Caleb Crane here with my friends Ben Turkel and Jordan Badikian.
First topic, baseball. Who's going to win the World Series?
I personally think the Pirates are gonna win the World Series because they've been consistently good this season, and I think the Dodgers were on a hot streak. But as we've seen, when they lost that road game after their streak, they have a tendency they can lose.
I think it's the Dodgers to lose because, I mean, they are cooling down, but it's like they were white hot, now they're red hot. And so it's hard to contain them.
Well, I disagree. I think the Dodgers are going to win. I mean, I agree. I agree with him. I think the Dodgers are going to win. Their pitching rotation, even though they lost to the Cardinals, I think they still have a chance. They've been white hot, and their pitching rotation is fabulous.
Next topic, still on baseball, National League Cy Young.
I think Kershaw is gonna take this one. He's been very good recently, and he's good. He's just a really good pitcher.
I think it's Kershaw's to lose because he's a great pitcher, record, ERA, whip, all that's showing it, and he's experienced, and he's also on a playoff team, and that has something to do with it, as we all know.
I agree. I mean, he leads the all of baseball in whip with .6. I mean, he's a fabulous pitcher. And I just think, even though Matt Harvey's a really good pitcher, I still think that Clayton Kershaw will take it home.
AL Cy Young.
I think Yu Darvish is gonna take the AL Cy Young. He's been very consistent. He's not had just streaks. He's just a consistently good pitcher.
Max Scherzer all the way because, I mean, even though he is on a good team, the Detroit Tigers, he's not on the Cardinals or the Pirates or the Dodgers. He's not on that good of a team, and a 16-1 record is just unheard of.
I agree. I mean, 1 loss, 16 wins. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I know Yu Darvish is a really good pitcher, and Matt Scherzer didn't have a great season last year, but it's about this season, not last season. And this season, he's phenomenal, way better than Yu Darvish. And Yu Darvish got hurt.
NFL, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Broncos. I just think that Peyton Manning is a really good quarterback, and even though some people think that he's lost some of his talent as he's getting older, I still think he's a great quarterback, and last year he proved that he was really good still.
I've always been with the Cardinals. I'm going to stick with the Cardinals. I mean, they have Carson Palmer, Rashard Mendenhall, and I mean, that defense was solid last year. They improved the offense, and I don't see any reason why they can't make a deep playoff run and even win the Super Bowl.
I agree with Jordan. I think the Broncos are going to win. They got some really nice additions. They got Wes Welker. I mean, and you can imagine how good the Wes Welker, Peyton Manning would be. I mean, fantastic wide receiver with a phenomenal quarterback. I mean, last season they were really good, but they lost to the Ravens. But this time, I think they're going to win it all.
Changing sports, can the Heat three-peat?
I think that they can. I think that they definitely have the talent to do so, and I think that the other teams picked up just as much talent last year that they did this year, and the Heat were still capable of winning a championship, and I think that the Heat will still overcome all of their opponents this year.
No, because, I mean, there are a lot of obstacles, and most of them are in the West, which they only have to face once in the playoffs. But in the East, there's New York Knicks, Brooklyn Nets, and Celtics, Pacers, a lot of teams. And then when you get to the West, there's Denver, Oklahoma City, Golden State, Houston. So I think it's just too big of an obstacle to overcome.
I think that they will not three-peat. I mean, the Pacers, the Brooklyn Nets, the Boston Celtics, I mean, they've all got better. And in the West, man, the Oklahoma, it can be Denver, it could be Golden State, Houston. They have all had nice additions, and I and I think they're gonna hit a roadblock.
Hi, I'm Caleb Crane with my friends Ben Turkel and Jordan Bedikian. Good night.
Hi, I'm Joshua Gurvich with Landon Floyd reporting for SBC Nation.
First topic, who's going to win the World Series?
I think that the Dodgers will end up winning the World Series, even though I hate the Dodgers. Their pitching staff is great, and their hitting is fabulous, so, yeah.
I actually think that the Pirates will win the World Series this year. They have a great pitching staff in A.J. Burnett, Jeff Locke, and Francisco Liriano is doing very well this year. Andrew McCutcheon is a great player. Pedro Alvarez is having a good season, and Starling Marte is also stellar.
National League Cy Young.
I'm going to have to go with Kershaw on this one. His ERA and WHIP are, I think, the best in the NL, and he's just a great pitcher.
I would also have to agree with him that Kershaw is a great pitcher with a 1.91 ERA and a 0.86 WHIP. And I think right now it's his NL Cy Young to lose.
All right, AL Cy Young.
Max Scherzer, I think. I think that's how you say it. But his what is it? Record is he's 16-1, and that's phenomenal. And he's just a great pitcher.
I think Matt Harvey is having a great season at 9-3 with the Mets, and even though the Mets are not doing very well, I think he's a great pitcher, and so I think that for me it goes to him in the AL.
On to football, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to win. They have a great defense, and Joe Flacco needs to step up, and Jacoby Jones, and should do it with Ray Rice.
I think that in the Super Bowl will be the Ravens and the Falcons, but I think the Falcons will pull it out. They got Justin Tuck to replace John Abraham, which was a great addition to their team. Matt Ryan has to fulfill his contract. Julio Jones and Roddy White are a great receiving core, and Steven Jackson was a great addition at the running back spot also, so I think the Falcons will win the Super Bowl.
Jets camp, Smith or Sanchez?
I'm going with Smith. He's new, he's got legs, and he can throw the football.
I think that Smith has to learn a little bit more about the NFL. I would give Sanchez one more year to see what he can do, and if Sanchez does not perform this year, then I think next year it will be Smith, but I think Smith needs to sit out one more season.
Patriots camp, did they do the right thing letting Welker go to the Broncos?
I think that was one of the worst decisions they could have made. He's a great receiver, and him and Tom Brady work like bread and butter. I don't know why they let him go.
I also agree that it was a horrible decision to let Wes Welker go because they knew that Rob Gronkowski was hurt and Aaron Hernandez is now in legal trouble, so they really don't have that many wide receivers to rely on.
College football, what should the NCAA do about Johnny Manziel?
I think that they should be allowed to sell their own stuff because the school's making money off their jerseys and he can't even sell his own jersey to make money. I think that's jacked up and he should be able to sell his own jersey.
I do not agree. I think if there's a rule in the NCAA that you must follow it, I think that he should not have sold his jersey if he did. In fact, I think it was a wrong decision, and he must pay for it now. I think a fine is the right thing. I don't think a suspension is the right way to go.
College football, who's going to have the better year, SC or UCLA?
I think UCLA is going to have. I don't know too much about college football, but I'm guessing that UCLA will win go far.
I think that both USC and UCLA will be pretty good, but I think the deciding factor is that Matt Barkley went into the NFL, and now Max Wittick, you never know how good he's going to do. He's only played a couple of games for SC, so I think UCLA will go farther, and I think they are the better team.
Last question, Chris Roberts or Peter Arbogast? You got Pete right here.
Pete Arbogast, I guess. Pete Arbogast is a great announcer in USC history, and my vote would clearly go to him.
All right. You want to sign up?
I'm Joshua Gurvich with Landon Floyd for SBC Nation. Good night.
We started from the bottom.
All right. 3, 2.
Hey everyone, live from SBC. I'm Anthony Chavez, and this is Jack, and this is Cameron.
All right. First topic: who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I think it's going to be the Broncos with the new addition to Wes Walker. They're going to have an amazing offense with Peyton Manning and with returning wide receivers Demaryius Thomas and all the others. And then on defensive side, even though they lost Elbert Dumerville to the Ravens and Von Miller to suspension, I think they're going to do well even with those two losses.
I think it's going to be the New Orleans Saints. I know it's a big shocker, but I think after this whole bounty scandal just happened, I think Drew Brees is going to take charge and they're going to regroup as a team, and they're going to do well.
Well, my opinion is that the Green Bay Packers are going to win the Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers have Aaron Rodgers, of course, and the additions of Eddie Lacy and Jonathan Franklin. I think Jonathan Franklin is going to end up being the starting running back for the Green Bay Packers, but he's still going to have all the weapons he had last year, except for Greg Jennings, who is aging. So I think the Green Bay Packers will end up winning.
Jets camp, Smith or Sanchez?
I'm going to have to go with Smith. I can't trust Sanchez after his not the greatest season last year, and Smith is fresh. I think he has potential to make a pretty good quarterback in the NFL.
I have to disagree with you. I think it's going to be Sanchez, Mark Sanchez. I think he's going to get better as a player and off the field, and he's going to do great this season, and he's going to get that spot at the starting quarterback.
Well, I think that Smith will end up taking the job. I think Sanchez will start off with the job, and throughout the season they'll see that Smith has more talent, and he's more athletic, he's a better player, he'll develop more, and he will become the starting quarterback by the end of the season.
Baseball now, who's going to win the World Series?
It's a close one here, but I think the Pirates might pull it out with their pitching staff coming along and everyone coming together and working well. They're doing great. For the first time, they might have a winning record this year, and I think they'll win the World Series.
I think it's going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. With Hanley Ramirez coming back in about a couple of days or so, and Matt Kemp and Clayton Kershaw and all the players they have right now, I think they're going to do great and finish the season strong.
And I'm going to have to agree with Anthony. I think the Dodgers will end up taking the World Series. They just have too strong of a pitching staff to end up losing in the playoffs. Great offense, great defensive play, great outfield. They just got everything.
Next topic, should PED users be in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
I don't think so. I think that after what they did and they lied to everyone about that they didn't use it, I don't think that they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because the Hall of Fame is such an honor to be a part of.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I don't think they should be in the Hall of Fame, especially if they lied to thousands of people on the air saying I didn't take PED, and now they're coming out and saying they did. So.
Well, I have to agree with everyone else that I think that there should be a zero-tolerance policy for PED users, steroid users, any user of any PED. I think that, it's just no zero-tolerance policy.
NBA? Are the Heat going to three-peat?
No, I don't think they will because they barely won the final last year, and they just chugged ahead barely because of LeBron James' stellar performance in Game 6 and 7 and Ray Allen. D-Wade is having issues with his knees, and he's getting old, and Chris Bosh you can't really rely on now after that really bad playoffs that he had, so I don't think he will. And with the Pacers coming along and the Bulls, I don't think they will.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I don't think the Heat will three-peat this coming year, especially with all the trades that just happened and all the, such as the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks and all the other teams, and especially the rookies that just got drafted into the NBA draft.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I believe that the Miami Heat, after their addition of a center who used to be a top prospect, Greg Oden, I think they will end up winning their third title. They're just too strong of a team. They've got too many superstars for them to lose.
Oh, and this is SBC. I'm Anthony, and this is Jack, and this is Cameron. Thank you. Goodbye.
All right, in 3, 2.
Hello and welcome to SBC Nation. I am joined by my two friends, Keaton Magnuson and Connor Dignan.
First topic, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I think the Broncos are. They got Wes Welker. They still have Demaryius Thomas, and I don't think their passing game is going to lose.
I have to disagree with you. I think that the Falcons are going to pull it out with Matt Ryan's brand new contract, and he's going to have a lot to prove. But with the newly acquired running back in Steven Jackson, I think that they're going to be able to pull it out because of their good pass game already. Play action is just going to be even more deadly for them.
I'm going with a bold prediction. I'm going with the Colts over the Falcons in the Super Bowl. It's crazy, I know, but Andrew Luck has proved that he has leadership skills just like as Peyton Manning did when he was a rookie right away. And with veterans and with the loss of Dwight Freeney in the defense, it means that some guy is going to step up and some guy has to step up on the defense. Andrew Luck is going to lead this team to the Super Bowl in an upset in there.
Still on the NFL, Jets craziness. Smith or Sanchez?
I think Smith is better, but I don't think that the Jets will start Smith over Sanchez. I think Sanchez is going to start week 1, and I think Smith is going to come in sometimes in the middle of the season and pick up the Jets.
I think that Rex Ryan likes Mark Sanchez as a player too much not to keep him as his starter. I mean, he's had a good couple of seasons, but he's been iffy ever since. And Geno Smith, we don't know how he's going to play because there has been busts. I mean, just because he was good in college doesn't mean he's going to be good in the NFL. It's a whole different game.
I totally agree with Anthony. Geno Smith is a bust. I could see right through him. He's got terrible footwork for a quarterback. He's got no leadership skills, and all he had was passing touchdowns because he'd throw the ball in the red zone in college football. I honestly think Mark Sanchez is terrible too. He had a nice college career, and his first season or two with the Jets were pretty decent, but I mean, he's fallen apart. But Geno Smith, I don't like him at all. I don't think either are the future of the Jets, and I think Mark Sanchez will be starting until they need to try out Geno Smith.
Baseball, who's going to win the series?
World Series? I'm going to have to say the Boston Red Sox. They acquired Jake Peavy, Matt Thornton, and their hitting is already unstoppable, and I think Jake Peavy is going to be good for them in the playoffs, and I think they're going to go all the way.
I will have to agree with Connor. I mean, David Ortiz has had a rejuvenation of sorts. I mean, he's hitting a lot of home runs this year. I mean, newly acquired Jake Peavy, like he said, and their pitching staff, it's been pretty good this year with the exception of Ryan Dempster, and John Lackey just has had an unlucky season. He's had a good ERA. It's just that his records aren't showing. But their hitting staff is extremely good.
I agree with them, but I say they're going to defeat the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series. The Cardinals didn't make any moves at the deadline that should have been made, and the Red Sox did the smart thing, went out and got Jake Peavy. They showed aggression at the deadline, and they got him, and that's why the Red Sox are going to go out and beat the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series.
Still in the diamond, should PED users get in the Hall of Fame?
No, there is no place for them in the Hall of Fame. I do not agree. I say they all lied to us. They said they weren't taking them, and then they admit later. There is no space for them in the Hall of Fame.
I think that they should make a little shack in the back. It's made out of wood, and then they should put all the PED users in there. So then it's kind of like a Hall of Shame. So like Alex Rodriguez, Mark McGuire, like those people will be in there. It's kind of like a Hall of Shame. So then it's just like a bad little shack, and it has their names on them.
Hall of Shame, more like Hall of Lame. Like those guys, it's completely unnecessary to do that. Yeah, sometimes it can make the game more fun. I guess everybody wants to see a 500-foot home run or whatever, but there's no place for PED users. They want it for the money. They don't care about anything else. Money.
Last question, one sentence. Will the Heat three-peat?
They will not. Watch out for the Nets this year.
Nope. The Nets are just too good.
I honestly don't think the Nets are going to win it. Their chances are better now, but Paul Pierce is getting old. He's going to. Veterans can get with teams, but
will the Heat three-peat?
The Heat will not three-peat. As of right now, I don't know who will win, but the Heat will not three-peat.
Oh, this has been SBC Nation. This is signing out as Anthony Velez, Keaton Magnuson, and Connor Dignan.
Bye-bye.